Hi there. We're going to talk about Lilith today. Lilith was she just really developed out of almost nothing, really. In the Bible, first of all, let's say the Bible is not the first place where Lilith occurred. There was Lilith, who was kind of a malevolent demon goddess in Mesopotamia and specifically Babylon. It was very concentrated there, and so it was a part of their. She was a part of their myths, and just a goddess that was a little different. maybe not the good witch, but the bad witch. So in the Bible, there's two creation stories. And one of them just says a man and a woman, and the woman is not named. Well, Jewish folklore, they have said that the woman is Lilith. There is a mention of Lilith in the Bible because quite often gods and goddesses make their way into the Bible. They made their way in because of the fact that some of those polygods weren't quite. They didn't quite disappear from culture by that time, and they were trying to make efforts to have them be bad characters, the women, and make them disappear. Well, I guess Lilith was kind of a bad character from the start. So in the Bible, I think it's in Isaiah, there's a mention of a forest malevolent again, or demon goddess or something, demon person, demon woman. I'm not sure, but I do know it's in Isaiah. But yeah, otherwise it just says a woman in Genesis. And so out of all of that, again, Jewish lore got this woman started and said that she was the wife of Adam, the first wife of Adam, but she would not submit to him. And she was known, Lilith was known as someone who just kind of shied away from reproduction and all of that kind of thing. She had her own path she was following, and so that's probably why they banned her to the forest. But anyway, again, in the Jewish lore, she refused Adam's advances, and I think she just didn't get along with him altogether. She probably said, "You're not my type," first man and first woman, and that's how it went. 50% of marriages end in divorce. So anyway, so she was banished because of the fact that she would not do anything with Adam. So that was the start of all of that, and they also said they were very concerned because she didn't want to reproduce. Well, if you look at reality, first of all, I'm going to tell you that if there were only two people starting out, they never would get very far because of founder effect. You have to have a big enough population to start with of Homo sapiens in order for them to reproduce and successfully have enough mates that diseases, hereditary diseases and things just didn't wipe them out. You know how you're not supposed to marry your cousin. It's that type of a thing. So anyway, so we know that it's not true, and we know the Adam and Eve story is not true, and how a lot of the creation story, the second one especially, was not in the right order. There's just so much. But anyway, let's get back to Lilith. So Lilith somehow got picked up by feminists. They liked the idea of her being different, and so they used her as kind of an image. And so again, I kind of saw her as the original 4B person, because 4B is getting very popular. That is where women won't have anything to do with men. They won't have sex with men, and they won't, of course, then have children with men. And they just do everything on their own. They won't get married. They refuse to get married. Everything's on their own terms. So that's called 4B. It's very popular in is it South Korea? South Korea. It's very popular, and it's kind of spreading around the world. So yeah, the original one was this mythological Lilith. Let me see what else I wanted to tell you about Lilith. Maybe that's all. Again, I wrote something really in a hurry. I was just thinking about it this morning. Oh, but then she's also, if you do Lilith, she's on the internet. It looks like she's anime, and she's, there's all kinds of different women caricatures and super women and evil looking women that are named Lilith on there. So somehow she captures people's imagination, and all of this came from Babylon. And a few words about her, a few stories, but especially it came from the Bible, and that little bit about a forest demon and about the first woman, and then Jewish folklore. It kind of took off from there and into our culture, into our own culture, because we don't know anything about, most people don't know about the Babylonian tales and all of that. They look at the Bible and they start from there. So it's really interesting that she's become so popular. So again, the original 4B, Lilith.